Day 556, 22 for 22. Good morning. Hope this finds you well. Please stay in your fight and do not quit. Gotta say, stay in the 556 kind of cracked me up. Automatically thought 5.56 millimeter full metal jacket. The Army never leaves. Today I'm going to talk about decisions, and it's not just our decisions. I've said this before. I listen to Alice in Chains a lot, and they have some very depressing music. But the thing is I find hope and inspiration in it, which is kind of weird. They have a song called Your Decision, and I'm not going to pull from the song itself, just because of, it's kind of cheesy doing that. But I was listening to the song Your Decision, and decisions are everything. Decisions that we make affect ourselves and affect the others around us. And we also know that the decisions of others can profoundly affect us. Decisions made on my behalf sent me reeling, sent me to the edge of the cliff, and the way I was treated didn't help. And that's something that I've learned since, and you always know the decisions affect you, but when they really punch you in the stomach, hit you on your chin, and put you on your ass, you really realize how much decisions that are made for you by somebody else, how they're going to act or what they are going to do, how it affects us. And we also have to realize we have that same power. And I'll get to a different point by the end of this. But we have to make the decision to not be where we are. We cannot change our past. As I've said 1,000 times, we are the sum of all of our experiences. There's no going back and fixing anything that has occurred way back, or even yesterday. We can mitigate damage, but what is said, what's done is done. There's no going back from that. You can walk it back some, but it still came out your mouth. You still opened up your mouth, said something you probably shouldn't have, said something harsh, whatever. So try to make the decisions to not necessarily be a pushover, but try to be kind. Now, as far as what we're with the 22, decisions that we choose to make can put us on the edge of that cliff. And there's so many to even start talking about, but you know what I mean. The decision-making process that you have to go through has to be one of a build-up, not a tear down, and that is of yourself and of others. Be the change you want to be. I'd like to say I'm a realist, but I also edge towards pessimist on occasion. You don't see that in this, but because I fight through a lot, and I've changed a bunch too. We are not a static being. We are able to change, and I've worked hard to become a more positive person. I think as a leader, when I was pretty good at being positive. After I got out, I went out the window. Life changed far too much for me to keep up and stay positive, and it put me in a bad spot for a while. And I did not make decisions that were necessarily good for myself or my family at the time, and neither did the other half, to be honest with you. And I accept fault, and that's something that a lot of people don't do. They don't say sorry because they think it's weak. I say sorry a bunch now because I value the relationship I am in more than me being right or me being an ass. I'm saying a lot today. I don't know why. Our decision-making process, as I said, has to be one to build us up. If you know that you're heading down a wrong path, either financially, drugs, mentally, whatever, you got to put the brakes on, or whatever you can do to make that decision, to make that turn off of that road that you're on. Sometimes you have to go down till there's an exit. But as long as it's not an exit off the edge of that cliff into the abyss and you're gone, you can fix things. But you also have to make the decision to accept the help, accept what you need to do, and actually get off your hind end and do it. And I don't say that in a negative manner, as in, you're sitting there now, you're sucking it up and just taking it in and gonna jump. I'm just saying, you can't let yourself get to that point where you are going to do that. I let myself get far too gone, and I almost didn't make it back. And it did take somebody with a positive attitude coming in and telling me that I'm worth it, and that I matter, and that all was not lost, that there was a life to live. And I made that decision to follow that person and see where it took me, as opposed to my original plan at that time. And our decision-making process has to lead to the light. It has to lead back to the good. It has to lead us as far away from where we sit on the edge of that cliff looking into the abyss as we can get. And I say this stuff like it's easy, and it's not. But the decisions that you have to make are some of the hardest ones you're gonna make, because you're stuck in a spot that you don't think you can get out. But you have to make the decision to fight. You have to make the decision to choose right choices that are being presented to you, or make that path yourself. You have to be able to fight your way out of what you're in. You've been trained to fight your way in and out of situations in the Army, in the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, Coast Guard. You've been taught to make the decisions that are necessary to accomplish your mission. Your mission should be to live, and live well. Live as good as you can. We just passed Memorial Day, and it's a rough one. But you made it through. Now it's time to make the decision to find your own path back, and you can do it. Time for some push-ups. One for the airborne ranger in the sky, one for the infantry, one for the fallen. All right, so selfish plug. YouTube, that _ push-up _ guy tough. Instagram, that push-up guy. Twitter, that guy push-up. Excuse me. Facebook, Jim Tough, and then 27 other groups. I'm starting to get them in there. They seem to be working. Maybe Facebook fixed their stuff. I don't know. Anyway, bottom line, If you need help, seek help. Get it from friends, family, professionals. There is no shame at all in getting help. Do what you got to do to be here. Whew. Please do not use suicide as a permanent solution to a temporary or permanent problem. You got this. See you here tomorrow. Tough out.